and welcome to National Focus. I'm Pearl Fontaine. Thanks for joining us. Topping the headlines, the West Coast Water Supply Project is progressing satisfactorily. Tourism Minister back on island after attending FCCA conference in Curacao. And Dominica welcomes the first cruise ship of the season. All these stories and more when National Focus returns. Welcome back. Time now for the details of the news. Work is progressing as planned on the construction of the Cooperatives Resort and Spa. Prime Minister Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit visited the project site on Wednesday. He was accompanied by Parliamentary Representative for the Cottage constituency, Honorable Reginald Austrie, Portsmouth MP, Honorable Ian Douglas, and Trade Minister, Honorable Dr. John Colin McIntyre. The multi-million-dollar project is financed by the Kingdom of Morocco and is expected to be completed by October 2013.
Once the project is completed next year, October, we will be in a position to receive guests immediately. We will have a fully furnished facility. We will also have a conference center, which I believe will seat about 200 people comfortably to have any conference. And you know this has been a major concern for Dominica. And that's why we took a deliberate decision in the design of the hotel to have this conference center at this hotel. We're also making allowance for duty-free shops because we have the cruise ship berth right next door, and we will be also catering for the visitors from the cruise ship berth. So there will be duty-free shops, there will be shops for locals who sell the crafts and so forth at this facility. The spa will be open to the general public.
49 people from the north have been gainfully employed on the over $30 million project. Additional steel benders are expected to join the work team to increase the pace of work. More employment opportunities are expected when the hotel opens at the end of 2013.
It is estimated that we would have to employ at least 100 people full-time at the hotel, based on the services that you'll be providing. The spa, the gym, the security personnel, staff management. Is estimated that we will need at least 100 people employed on this completed spa. Now these are direct jobs. The people who will get a salary directly from this facility. Now one can speak about the indirect jobs, the fishermen who would provide the fish, the farmers from Pennville to Capuchin to Dubla, Calibishi, who will be providing the agricultural produce, the vegetables, the eggs and so forth to this facility.
The construction of the 65-room hotel is the first phase of government's thrust to develop the Cooperatives area.
We are in discussions with some people who are interested in constructing the marina. And we believe that if we can get the marina constructed, then that would certainly leapfrog Portsmouth and the entire country insofar as taking advantage of the tremendous opportunities which exist in Portsmouth because of its topography, because of its scenery, and what it has to offer there. And of course, we tie this with the Cooperatives development, what Dr. Lennox Honeychurch has been doing over the last few years. And Dr. Honeychurch will tell you, it is the first government that has used resources, its own resources, to seek to restore this very important national treasure. In the past, we've received money from the British, we've received money from the Canadians, but no government has really sat down and said, look, we are taking a deliberate policy decision to reinstate this national park.
The spillover benefits of the construction of the Cooperatives Resort and Spa are endless and extends to parents and students attending the Ross University School of Medicine.
There are times when the parents come in to get the student to be settled, they have to be in the small apartment room with the children. And Ross has continuously said to us, look, we need to have rooms in Portsmouth so that more people can come in. So let us say over a period of time, half of these parents will come to visit for 1 week, for 2 weeks. Instead of going somewhere else for the vacation, they could come to Dominica for their summer vacation to be closer to the children and to provide them with the support they require.
Dominican engineer on the project, Burnett Biscombe, gave details of the design of the facility.
This section is the 65 rooms. These are two-story. The first 4 buildings which you saw today are 2-story high. We have changed the design and put concrete platforms on the top so that we can have the services hidden from view, because that was an oversight by the architects. Luckily, because we have the rooms the way they are, we have stacks. I don't know if you noticed on your visit into the rooms. We can now, if you notice, we haven't started any plumbing yet. We haven't started the real electrical conduits because we wanted to leave that to the second phase, because we regard we're halfway through the project in physical construction of the building structures. We're now Monday going to set out this area, which is the conference room, the staff rooms, and here's the services, the laundry, and the mechanical equipment building where the standby generator and all the switch gear will be. And that's a security building where all the cameras will be monitoring every aspect of the site. What it is if you notice, for a 200-room-seater conference room, we don't have much parking. And so the government has taken the decision that we can move the road further north. And we're going to hopefully put a tennis court there, more parking, car parking, and it will give greater privacy to these rooms here.
There has already been expressions of interest by local and foreign entities in the management of the hotel.
We have a group from Dominica, and I believe we have 2 groups from overseas who have indicated their willingness to come to Dominica to look at the facility, look at the plans, and to start engaging the government of Dominica in discussions with regards to managing this hotel, because it's not going to be the government, central government is going to manage it. Our interest is to bring jobs, is to bring economic activity into Dominica. It is left to the private sector to manage it under specific terms.
More details of Wednesday's tour in the weekend edition of National Focus. In more news, Tourism Minister Honorable Ian Douglas is back on island after attending the Florida Caribbean Cruise Association Conference in Curacao. The conference brought together stakeholders from the cruise industry, including Carnival Cruise Lines and Holland America. Honorable Douglas told GIS News it provided an ideal opportunity to promote the destination.
We get an opportunity to promote our destination, to advertise, to encourage those who are not coming, which are very few, to come to the destination. But more importantly, to get to hear from the cruise lines coming, what issues do they have in the destination, what it is we can do to make our destination more attractive and for them to continue to keep calling at the destination.
The tourism minister used the Curacao meeting to assure officials that the government of Dominica was committed to the cruise industry. The current administration has invested a significant amount of financial resources toward the development of the island's tourism industry.
We spent about $3 million at the Antrim filtration system so that the ship could be assured of quality potable water when they come to Dominica. And we have even reduced on the cost of the water for the ship. We have also made investments at the Monbrus storage tank. One of the chambers in that storage facility is specifically dedicated to the ship, so that when the ship comes and they take water in Dominica, then the rest of Roseau and surrounding areas are not affected by them taking water. The roads into the valley have been resurfaced and well upgraded. Again, that is to impact on the quality of the tour, so that the driving experience into the valley, where we have most of our sites, where we have the sulfur tours like Screws, we have our various freshwater lake, we have the Trafalgar Falls. All of those sites in the valley are major tourism attractions. So the government itself is making an investment. Even the West Coast Road to come down to Cabrits and to the Indian River all of those issues, the road from Pocasset all the way across to Melvin Hall, so that better access can be made to places like the Emerald Pool. So all of those things are millions of dollars in investment. So we put forward all those issues to the cruise lines to show them how we as public sector and government have been improving on the product to make the destination more attractive for their visitors.
The minister is optimistic that there will be an increase in the number of cruise ship calls in the future cruise seasons. In other news, project supervisor of the West Coast Water Supply Project, Joseph Flozak, says the project is well on target. Flozak made the remark following a visit by Prime Minister Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit and other government officials to one of the aspects of that project in the Heights of Pickard, Portsmouth.
We have the first part, which is the pipeline along the West Coast Road. That is about 95% complete. And we look to finish pipeline works by the end of this month. We anticipate that this construction of the intake, access road, treatment plants to be completed before the end of next year. So we are well on target in terms of our budget and our timeline for now.
The over $30 million project is being financed by the Government of Dominica and the European Union. Colleen Roberts is National Authorizing Officer of the EU. She told reporters on Wednesday that the EU continues to be a true development partner to the government and people of Dominica and has invested heavily in the development of the island's water system in an effort to improve access to potable water.
The European Union has invested and continues to invest and is programming to invest further in the water sector in Dominica. And through the SFAs, they have invested significant amount of money into the West Coast Water Supply Project. And we have on stream as well the 10th EDF water program under the General Budget Support Program. So we need to commend the European Union for their continued partnership with the government and people of Dominica in the investment in the water sector.
Prime Minister Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit is pleased with the economic activity that the water project has generated.
All the construction materials purchased locally, truckers, and what have you, benefiting from this project. But very importantly to it, this is a project that we've heard about for a very, very long time. And when we came into office, there were designs, there were on the project, there were concepts of the project. We had to go through the process of redesigning the project, making some adaptations to it, negotiating the financing for this project. And finally, we've started, because when you come from Capuchin all the way down to Salisbury, St. Joseph, you always hear of the unreliability of the supply of water. I mean, whenever I had meetings in Dublin, Biosh, I mean, this has always been always been the main point of concern for the people of those communities. So finally we are approaching the end of the tunnel, as it were, with regards to the realization of this very important West Coast project.
Minister for Water Resource Management, Honorable Reginald Austrie, says government still needs to raise an additional $10 million for the project.
Apart from laying the pipes on the West Coast, apart from doing these two intakes, one here and one in Colibistry, we also have to build about 9 storage tanks, and that will cost us anywhere between 9 and 10 million. So government now has to find this additional funding to ensure that we can, because the pipes under the ground with no water flowing through it is useless. So we have to make this functional by raising the additional revenues. And so government we already found 15 for the major water system, we have to find another 10. So that means over the period, over 2 years, government would have spent almost $50 million in potable water.
The investment in the island's water supply is part of government's social investment policy.
We don't see development in only concrete structures, but we see people's development as important. And water is probably one of the most important commodities for life. And while it's expensive, but we have an obligation to make sure that every single Dominican, and like the PM said, by 2015, the world is expecting that 100% of the world's population will have access to water, but we're hoping to achieve that by next year once we complete the Penrice and Bells water system. So the government, the Ministry of Finance, has to be complimented for finding those resources to pump into the water sector, knowing full well that those investments will never be able to recover the cost of the investment, but we will ensure that the people of Dominica will always be guaranteed a source of clean and potable water.
The Norwegian Sun cruised into port on Thursday morning, becoming the first of an expected 176 ships for this cruise ship season. The entire bayfront area bustled with activity Thursday morning. Tour operators, steel pan musicians, vendors and security personnel were part of the crowds welcoming the opening of the new tourist season. Benoit Badwill, chairman of the Discover Dominica Authority, says he predicts a very profitable season ahead.
We expect the season to be very productive in the sense that because we have had several discussions with the stakeholders, that they are more enlightened in terms of what they need to do to increase the experience of the visitors when they come into Dominica. And as a result of that, we believe that once we can have the visitors have pleasant memories of Dominica, that will redound to our benefit in the sense that they will go back and talk about Dominica and then be able to say to others that they need to visit Dominica. And we believe that that will be a very good thing for us.
That confidence, Badwill says, comes from fruitful meetings held with stakeholders who were urged to temper value with cost when pricing their services.
We are very encouraged that the stakeholders are more enlightened in terms of what the charges for the various areas are and what it is to be able to give a valued tour or a valued memory to the passengers.
Badwill revealed that fewer ships are expected in port this season compared to about 190 during the last cruise ship season. Moving along, Minister for Culture Honorable Justina Charles has appealed to the general public to support the Madam and Miss Wobduet shows. She made the call while addressing the cultural finals in Grand Bay on Tuesday.
The Madam Wobduet, I expect all of us last year. I can tell you I enjoyed it and I expect it to be very grand again this year. So we're expecting everybody to turn out, because if it is like last year, I can tell you you're going to miss something really exciting. So I encourage persons to be at the Madam Wob Duet later this week. That's on Friday night. Yes. Miss Wob Duet also, and for both of them, Grand Bay also have a contestant. So I'm expecting persons from Grand Bay and other parts of Dominica to really turn out in large number to support.
She also underscored many activities on the calendar of independence celebrations.
Heritage Day will be celebrated in Warner. And so we invite persons to Warner on Sunday to celebrate Heritage Day. The Cadence Calypso is on Sunday night, and so that is another activity that I think is going to pull a very large crowd, and I want to encourage persons to be part of that. Creole in the Park, that's next week from Monday, and this is really a family fun activity where parents can take their children out to socialize. And all of those activities, while it is true we are trying to preserve our culture, but what it does is to create that kind of harmony between persons in one community and persons from various communities. Journée Creole is also on every Fridays, when we expect persons to wear their Creole clothes with pride and dignity.
The minister urged Dominicans to wear their flags with pride this season.
And there is also Flag Day. And as I speak of Flag Day, all of these are symbols of our nationhood. And so we want to encourage persons to carry their flag with pride, not dragging down. Very often it hurts me to see the flag at the level of the ground or even below our knee. We need to hold our flag high and to show that we are true patriotic citizens of that country.
Honorable Gloria Shillingford, Minister for Community Development, believes Dominica's richness comes solely from the blessing of God. She says every Dominican ought to give thanks.
When we listen to the destruction from natural disasters in different parts of the world, we must give thanks to God for sparing our blessed land. When we hear of the overwhelming effects of the global economic downturn, we must give thanks to God for our homes, our jobs, and our minor challenges. And when we read of the hunger and poverty in different parts of the world, we give thanks to God for a land blessed with wonderful fruits, vegetables, and a rich and fertile soil.
She pleaded with the nation to foster a community of brotherhood and sisterhood among each other.
I therefore call upon you to unite, to cooperate, to love one another, so that our blessings can multiply. I want to impress upon you the need for this call for unity, to go way beyond independence celebrations, and to be part of your family life, of school, of church, council, and all the areas where you interact on a daily basis. In short, let unity and cooperation be a way of life always.
And that's the English segment of the news. We now join Marcus in St. Louis for the Creole highlights.
Allô tout le monde, bienvenue à ces nouvelles en créole. Non moins c'est Macpherson St. Louis. Premièrement, travail qui a progressé bien formidable à ces projets hôtels qui Morocco a bâti en ville Gouantans. Premier ministre Honorable Roosevelt Skerritt était chef en délégation cabinet qui visitait le projet là mercredi.
Nous commençons l'hôtel l'année là, moi crois. Nous avons bâti en 65 chambres hôtel en Cooperatives Gouantans. Et puis l'argent qui a sorti dans le gouvernement Morocco. C'est un cadeau qui a pour le pays Dominique. Et puis nous bien merci pour le cadeau ça là. À présent, nous avons 49 Dominicains qui travaillent à ces projets là. Et puis tout matériau qui a gagné, il a acheté ici Dominique. Donc on peut voir l'argent qui a dépensé en Gouantans, en Dominique, quand l'hôtel s'est bâti. Puis le hôtel a fini. Bon, il y a 100 personnes qui ont pris un plan à ces projets là, dans l'hôtel là. So, c'est un projet qui est demandé pour plus de 40 années. Et puis, il prend le gouvernement Labour Party pour mener un projet à Gouantans. Et puis, nous sommes vraiment contents. So, aujourd'hui, nous avons amené les médias là pour voir. Et puis, nous avons demandé une section progrès un projet là. Et nous aussi venons dire des travailleurs qui sont sortis de Morocco. Et puis, nous avons 20 travailleurs qui sont sortis de Morocco qui travaillent ici. Merci pour ce qu'a fait par Pep Dominique.
Honorable Skerritt aussi fait parole que le gouvernement Dominique déjà reçu application de monde qui est intéressant pour courir hôtel là.
Bon, cette adresse là, l'année ça la même. Nous dit monde qui est intéressant pour manager l'hôtel là. Yo ça voyer en lettre pour dire intéressant. 3 différentes compagnies, yon Dominique et puis deux l'autre pays. Et puis le gouvernement Dominique a dit yo voulait manager hôtel ça là. So nous avons commencé des discussions et puis nous avons mis un plan en place, un dossier en place. Là nous finissons le dossier ça nous avons engagé ces gens là en discussion pour voir pour nous finir discussion et puis bah on monte manager. Commencement en premier quartier 2013.
En autre nouvelle, ministère touriste Honorable Ian Douglas retourné un pays là après représenter Dominique en conférence FCCA, ça c'est affaires touristes, qui était pour place en Curaçao. Conférence ça là été menée ensemble officier Hot Industry Cruise en parmi Carnival et puis Holland America. Quand même si l'homme ministre Douglas, conférence là bat Dominique opportunité pour promouvoir pays là comme une bonne destination touriste. Ministre Douglas aussi servi conférence salam pour voyer commission pour officiers touristes que le gouvernement Dominique a tient commitment pour l'industrie touriste là. Le gouvernement Dominique déjà dépensé autant d'argent pour le développement industrie touriste en pays là. Quand même, Honorable Douglas n'a confiance qu'il plus bateau que visiter pays là en d'autres saisons pour venir. En même temps aussi, saison touriste l'année 2012-2013 officiellement commencé aujourd'hui et puis premier bateau là rentré en pays là. En d'autres nouvelles, division coopérative qui a observé l'année 2012 qu'on l'année coopérative. Il a conduit diverses activités en observance l'année coopérative. Il y a une grande exhibition pour place en la place Rose aujourd'hui. Monsieur Adrian Bonnis, c'est membre Believers Multipurpose Cooperative qui participe en exhibition là.
Ouais, l'exhibition ça aujourd'hui c'est pour choquer tout produit que nous avons fait agro-processing. Avec cooperative division, nous fait nous link avec eux pour faire certains nous montrer mon produit à nous café en Dominique. Nous avons un café en poisson, nous avons un café l'huile coco, café chips, café toute qualité de différents bagages. Nous avons des Bix pour goûter, pour savoir là où fruits Bix en huile coco est bon. Nous avons essential oil. Nous avons café soulier. So, c'est une grande exhibition aujourd'hui.
Finalement, M. Banis, comment on fait coopérative pour support le développement pour la Dominique?
Well, ça c'est vision nous encore en Believers Multipurpose Cooperative, c'est pour faire certain nous contribuer pour l'économie Dominique. Nous avons coco c'est quelque chose qui est très bon. Tout le monde l'a levé avant quand il boit, nous avons mangé coco, nous avons fait huile coco, nous avons fait toute qualité de barrière de coco. Genre du jour, nous n'avons pas servi coco. Comme ça nous fait café. Nous avons mené coco vivre comme quelque chose qui est très important en Dominique. Nous avons fait toute qualité de différents bagages hot coco. L'huile coco, nous avons créé virgin coconut oil. Virgin coconut oil, ça est bon pour toute qualité de bagages. Diabetes, pressure, il est bon pour cholestérol, toute qualité de différents bagages. Il est bon pour fruits. Il est bon pour ça servir en salade, en toute qualité de différents bagages. Comme ça, moi, je encourage les gens pour gagner l'huile coco. Nous avons différents projets en Dominique. Nous avons ship tout. Comme ça, c'est un bon bagage. Moi, je encourage les gens pour servir l'huile coco avec bagage café avec coco.
Messieurs, mesdames, ça c'est tout pour nouvelles en créole. Pour à présent, non moins, c'est Macpherson Saint-Louis. Car souhaiter tout le monde une bonne saison indépendance. Au revoir.
Up next is the tip of the day.
Hello, I'm Felix Anderson. Afternoon, and I'm here to tell you why it's better to buy your bag bread looking like this and not like Diabansack, a pig in a poke, a cat in a bag. Come on, if it's bagged, it's got to be tagged. Let me show you what I mean. Hello, ma'am. Can you tell me what's in that bag?
So you're not seeing it's a brown bread?
It looks like one, but you sure it's a brown bread?
Your face looking like the brown bread.
Brown and proud. If it's bagged, it's got to be tagged. Bakers, consumers, and retailers, please ensure that all your bagged bakery products clearly display brand name, product name, batch number, net contents, country of origin, list of ingredients, expiry date, identification code, and other important information about the product. Check the Dominica Bureau of Standards for details. So, am I right or am I right?
Today's tip is about decluttering. When your home or your workspace is filled with clutter, trying to tackle a mountain of stuff can be quite overwhelming. Here's a tip to help you on your way to not only decluttering your home or workspace, but freeing up some mental space as well. Designate a starting zone and start with just 5 minutes a day. Understand that baby steps are important to ridding yourself of years of baggage. And that's National Focus. As usual, we invite your suggestions or comments. Please feel free to drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm, or you can visit our website at news.gov.dm, or you could visit our GIS Dominica pages on both YouTube and Facebook. On behalf of the entire news production team, I'm Pearl Fontaine. Thanks for watching.